Okay, good morning, subscribers. It's Monday, March 17th. I hope everyone had a good weekend. As I uh, discussed last week, towards the end of the week, I think pretty much most of the trading action we saw, last week was pretty much just a bunch of um, sort of repositioning and risk aversion ahead of this vote that we had over the weekend, which of course passed. Crimea wanting to join Russia, and a lot of times it's basically just noise, right? I mean, it's a serious situation, but it's a lot of it is noise when it comes to the broader picture of the stock market. So we need to keep that in mind, and with that in mind, let's understand that. Technically speaking, we are not breaking down. As I said, last week, we're holding support. Next support, if this fails, is the 50-day moving average 1830, and below that about 1800 to 1810 would be sort of the next support area. But more importantly, I think with the NYSE New York Stock Exchange still making new 52-week highs, with small caps actually showing relative outperformance versus the S&P and the Dow Jones over the past couple of days on this sell-off we had. That's not the kind of move that really calls for a top of a cyclical bull market. So I do think, all in all, it looks like we're going to push higher. If you look at the futures right now, and it's early right now, it's like 6:20 in the morning. East Coast time, but you can see futures are basically reclaimed all the overnight lows and are basically trying to overcome last Friday's highs. So this morning, I think again it's a very low probability trading environment. Unfortunately, we're gonna get one of two things: either we're gonna gap open and rally, but this may take an entire day to understand what's gonna happen, or we're gonna gap up and at some point right away or throughout the day, we're gonna just fade and give back all the overnight rally again. So it's just what it is, and from that point of view, I think the portfolio we'll go through in just a second here is still very well positioned. So quickly, just in terms of the Russell 2000, just so you can see what I'm talking about here. It's just showing relative outperformance, and that's just not the kind of thing you want to blindly short into as such. So let's look at the portfolio in terms of what's going on here. We are still long ABX, of course. Um, this is the mining stock. I've had this now on the books since mid-February, so actually just about a month. And uh, you know, there's going to be rotation within these stocks. Like Newmont Mining had a relative outperforming day last week. Day on Friday, like ABX actually stayed pretty flat for the day, whereas Newmont Mining actually I think rallied like a couple percent last time I checked or something like that. So you can see that's good, and quite frankly, it may be something I need to start doing a little bit is rotating in and out of these the different mining stocks if that's going to continue to be a theme. Tesla again, I'm short. Um, June 280 strike call, so this is not your traditional short position. I was just short premium, but you can see the stock is just consolidating, so not a whole lot to do there, as I keep saying. JCPenney, I'm still long, which technically is actually still in a good spot. Yes, it's going to be a little bit more volatile because it's a more volatile stock in terms of its percentage moves, but all in all here, it's still okay. We'll see what it does today. If it falls apart, of course, we'll get rid of it. BWLD is the other long position I have, cyclical longs, and I still think this stock is very well positioned to move higher. I just don't think it's going to do this unless the market actually releases and goes higher as well. So you can see very defined risk here, but also very defined line of where the stock's going to break out. So until it actually does so, it's maybe a little bit premature to have been into this position, but it's okay. And then the stock that I shorted on Friday is Twitter. Basically, we have to go a little bit nearer term with our moving averages. So we need 8 and 21-day moving average. You can see we're trading below those two. The stock basically, like my base case on Twitter is I think it still has a lot of prospect. Still a very good prospect for going higher over the medium term. But here, immediate term, it's basically falling out of this sort of consolidation phase. We're trying to. It's broken some lateral support area on Friday, and that's just to me, this kind of weakness is what I'm looking for when I want to short a stock. So, I think the stock can move towards $50 without too much trouble. We'll see how it acts today at the open when the market ramps higher. So if it, if it reverses all this and breaks out of this consolidation, then of course it'll be the last sort of point to get out of the stock. Otherwise, I showed you a whole bunch of stocks yesterday in the watch list. I hope everyone's looked at that. A couple other stocks though that I didn't mention. One of them is Williams Sonoma. I think WSM here with last Thursday's breakout, and I discussed the stock last week a couple times, including the prices to look for after earnings, and basically it's exactly what happened here. The stock has rallied higher. It rallied like 7 or something percent, or whatever. I think almost 10% actually last Thursday. So it just needs to consolidate here. I don't want to chase it right away, but it does look like it's good to go higher at some point in the not too distant future. And then last but not least, Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. I still think this stock is looking good here. Again, this is a very similar situation to Williams Sonoma in the sense that it had a major breakout here. In this case, this was in early February, but this breakout is basically now just consolidating, has been consolidating for the past few weeks, and it looks like, excuse me, with last last Friday's rally, it looks like it could potentially again be moving higher out of this sort of consolidation phase that it had here. So that's what I'm looking at. Hope this makes sense. Again, it's Monday morning. It's just not a great day to make a ton of decisions, but we'll keep our eyes glued to the tape, and anything comes up, I will let you know. Have a good trading day, and good luck out there.